Okay, so um, I'm going to try the strategy. And the strategy is um, so currently I'm looking at Rare USDT. They recently just had there's recently a futures listing on Binance. So this is a token that has been around since 2022 or so. However, it isn't up until now that they recently received this Binance listing for a futures product, and you can obviously see it likely happened on the 11th of August. So I've just came back into the market, and just looking at things. I believe that there is an opportunity here, and so yeah. Uh, Generally, looking at this, one would think, okay, maybe maybe things are getting a bit inflated, and we can potentially expect price to make a big drop like that, come back to area of recent support. However, when looking at the current funding rate, we can see that Rare has a max negative funding. However, price is still going up. So one thing that you can assume when the funding is negative and prices are going up is this is telling me that there are a lot of people wanting to short this product. However, there's a lot more people on the buy side continuing to push prices up, and also due to the negative funding, the extreme negative funding, the cost of opening a short, you know, depending on your leverage, they really, your margin is being eaten alive as the longer you keep the trade open and the funding is still negative. So I believe the best thing to do in this situation is to open a long, continue with the trend, continue the trend. We can see even on the 5 minute. Prices staying above the EMA. You put the Bollinger Band up there. We got a little hit here and there, but I feel like you know once the funding is still extremely negative, there's an opportunity to eat at least a 2%. Um, you can get a free 2% given that price stays at break even or above your entry. So I've opened a trade at the current price point, and funding will reset in. Okay, one second. So funding will reset in exactly 2 hours and 21 minutes. And as long as price stays above my entry price, I'll be able to get a free 2% depending on my leverage of my position, and also whatever off the top, given the price stays above. So seeing that 2% is what I should be expecting in turn, given that funding stays the same, I'll then give myself, let's say, just about 2% in terms of maximum drawdown. Um, Once price can stay within this range, um, I'll be, I will be, I should be okay. And I think it's going to continue up. So I'll update the video in a few minutes or in about 2 hours or so when funding resets, and you'll see what happens. Now, granted, I also do believe that there is an opportunity for price to hit this level and then come back down. I've seen that happen many times. I have specific patterns and specific technical analysis cues that suggest that can happen. However, let's just I want to use what I'm looking at right now. I don't want to make any assumptions. Just want to take advantage of what I see right now. So I want to take advantage of this funding rate, and we move forward from there in 2 hours. All right. So an update on the trade. 2 hours just passed about 5 minutes ago, and I took a look at the transaction history, and the funding fee given to me was 5% of the principal. So currently just back at about break even and up 5% on the trade already. So this strategy has worked as expected. And looking at current funding right now, the funding is still negative. It's still negative too, and price is still showing strong signs. So what I plan to do now is I'll give myself now a 5% um, maximum drawdown, and from this 5%, this now gives me a wider range. It gives me a wider range in terms of what I'm able to, the amount of room that I'm given to the trade, and then also gives me a bigger opportunity to make more. Versus let's say if price only had went up 3% here, and it came down, and this would have been like 2%. At that point, it would just knock me out. But now I got a wider range, so that gives me more time and also more opportunity, if that makes sense. So I'll end the video there. Um, got the expected return, and yeah. Okay, so more comprehensive update on the rear trade. Um, the main thesis was I want to take advantage of the negative funding, which paid me about 5% every 4 hours on top of whatever I made with the trade. We can see this is the beginning here. So as time passed, the first funding fee, so this is where the video would have ended. And here now is where things would have, escalated a bit. We had price, we had a nice little impulse price in a smaller time frame, but another funding fee. However, we can also see that price continued to trend up. The third funding fee, you know, things were showing, pretty good signs now on a larger time frame. And the strategy here was I would trail the current low time frame trend and scale out 50%, given that there's any structure break, park it into spot because there was a price discrepancy between the spot price and also the futures price. There was about a 10 to 13% price discrepancy, so meaning that it could have been a pairs trade where I would have long both sides. So yeah, my risk limit was about 50% at break even, and then I could let the last 25% of the position run. That didn't have to happen. This price continued to go up. And a few hours later, the total trade netted me about 75%, inclusive of the funding fees. Then I opened a new position with lower margin and higher leverage. I bought spots, seeing that spot was moving at a faster rate. And funding was still negative. And yeah, so this would have been the 15-minute time frame where you can see a lot of time went by. About 20 cents. Yeah, 20 cents was my target. I think that would have been about a 40% move from the initial, no, about 30% move from the initial position. So yeah, price eventually got to that level, and I fully took profit at that point. I got about 4 funding fees, so that would have given me about 20%, just simply in funding and my principal. Forgot exactly how much I made in the second part of the trade. Took profit about 80% on my spot buy, and I opened a short as a hedge, which is currently open right now. And so yeah, all in all, it was a good trade. I still got my short hedge open because prices now came up to a level on a weekly time frame where we can see, it's a decent sell level. So yeah, that's the end of that. I also have another funding video without having to go into the trade, meaning that, if funding resets at 4 o'clock, I'll enter the trade at 3:59 in 30 seconds and then try to take advantage of the free funding rate at that point. So I got that video loading up next. So yeah,